And in our top business story, DP World grew gross container volumes by 8% last year on a like-for-like basis across its global network of terminals. The Dubai-based ports operators said growth was driven by the Asia-Pacific and Indian subcontinent regions, as well as European and UAE terminals. DP World handled 60 million 20-foot equivalent units, with gross container volumes growing by 8.9% on a reported basis. New volumes at London Gateway in the UK and Amberport in Brazil contributed to the increase in reported volumes. Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, the DP World chairman, commenting on the numbers, stated that the opening of an additional 2 million TEU capacity in the third quarter of 2014 has alleviated constraint and will provide the capacity we need to achieve further volume growth at Jebel Ali. He added that an additional 2 million TEU was expected to come online in the second half of this year, which would bring Jebel Ali's capacity to 19 million TEU. Jebel Ali was also named the world's most productive port, according to the US-based Journal of Commerce. The award was based on the average moves of containers per ship an hour. Dubai's facility led the industry with an average of 138 moves per vessel each hour, beating 483 ports around the world. Beginning next week, the Dubai World Trade Center will be home to the world's largest food and hospitality exhibition, as Gulf Food will return for its 20th edition with a focus on the industry's growth and global food security. At a press conference, organizers announced that the 20th edition of Gulf Food, which will be held from the 8th to the 12th of February, will feature over 4,800 exhibitors representing 120 countries. With an estimated attendance of 80,000 visitors throughout the event, organizers believe that this year's event will be the largest ever and has cemented Dubai's status as a leading trade, logistics and hospitality hub for the global food industry. Since the inaugural trade fair in 1987, panelists speaking at the press conference added that Gulf Food has evolved from being a regional trade fair to a vital business and investment platform. According to a report by Business Monitor International, the value of food consumption in the UAE is predicted to reach 40.8 billion dirhams in 2018, which is a significant growth over the current levels at 30.9 billion dirhams in 2014. Considering the expected increase, organizers say that Dubai continues to play an important role as a global re-export hub, adding that the industry continues to have a positive economic impact.
The economic impact is more than just the transactions of the deals done on the floor of the show. Many of our exhibitors report trade volumes in the hundreds of millions of dollars that are done in the 5 days of the exhibition, and hundreds more millions of dollars done in the 12 months following. But all of that product has to be shipped. So it has an impact on our logistics industries as well as the trade and impact and the connection with other countries around the globe. So with more than 170 countries participating in the event in some way, the trade connections that are made through an event like this have a long-lasting economic impact.
This year is expected to witness more international participation as they look to capitalize on the growth of the industry, particularly with Dubai's ambitions of becoming the capital of global Islamic economy. According to the Australian ambassador to the UAE and Qatar, the value of food exports to the MENA region reached $4.2 billion in 2013, with meat and livestock exports exceeding $1.01 billion in 2014. Additionally, around 166 companies from the United States are expected to participate, illustrating the importance of agricultural trade ties between the US and the UAE, with exports reaching $1.5 billion in 2015.
We have now 22 flights a day direct flights between Australia and the Gulf. These are predominantly into the UAE, but also into Qatar as well. And a lot of freight goes out on those planes. It's actually a lot of the airlines make more money, to be honest, from the freight that they carry than necessarily from the passengers that they take. And so that's been a tremendous success story for us. We exported about $4.2 billion worth of food in 2013. That was to the Middle East and North Africa region. And if you compare that to, say, our corresponding exports to China, which is our largest trading partner, that was 3.9 billion. So we export more food to this region than we do to China. Principal exports to the UAE, for example, alumina, and also certain grains like wheat and barley, but certainly meat as well, beef and lamb, and motor vehicles. Now that'll probably diversify over time, and we'll see more Australian companies utilising their air bridge to export their products into places like North and East Africa, Central Asia, and of course Europe, which is the primary reason I think we now have the connection between our airlines and the UAE carriers for people going to Europe.
Over the years, U.S. agricultural exports to Dubai started out about 20 years ago. It was about $30-some-odd million. And now to the UAE and GCC, that volume has gone to about $3.5 billion in 20 years. So you can see that this is an extremely important market for U.S. agricultural products, but not only because of the UAE, it's also because about 40% of product that's exported to the UAE GCC is for re-export.
Expats will soon have the option to register their wills in the Dubai International Financial Centre, which will be honoured as per the wishes of the testators, and this will include immovable assets. According to a member of the drafting panel who was quoted in local reports, expats could be able to register their wills here in just 3 months' time. The official stated that the DIFC wills for non-Muslims will start around early May 2015. Ideally, the law should have been signed and passed by then, with the DIFC already in the process of setting up its register of wills. However, this could be a more expensive option for expats. As per the draft rules, those wishing to use the registry will have to pay about 10,000 dirhams to register their wills. This is more than double the charges that people incur with a normal will in Dubai, and this includes lawyers' fee, translation and attestation of wills with the Dubai courts. As of now, a registered expat can only safeguard their interest as far as movable assets are concerned, but falls short if there are any immovable assets in the country. The Civil Transactions Law of the country applies to real estate inheritance in the country, with the same law outlining the procedure. Additionally, a sub-article of the law states that if a person dies in the UAE, then the law of her or his country shall apply when it comes to the disposition of his real estate assets in the country. However, the subsequent article states that all assets, including real estate, shall be governed by the UAE law, meaning that the will presently may not decide who will be the beneficiaries. The new DIFC wills are expected to change this, as they will be executed as per the testator's wish and enforced in DIFC courts. The UAE Insurance Authority has issued new rules for conventional and Islamic insurance or takaful firms, clarifying policyholders' rights and setting investment limits for the sector. The regulators said in a statement that insurers will have between 2 and 3 years to fall in line with the new rules, which align the UAE with European solvency requirements. Among the investment limits, firms will have to keep aggregate exposure to real estate to a maximum of 30% of invested funds and have a minimum 5% exposure to cash and deposits. The new takaful rules include provisions on the distribution of surplus funds to policyholders and segregation of assets of participants and shareholders' accounts. The UAE issued its first set of takaful rules in 2010, but regulation of the industry is inconsistent across the region, hurting the industry's profit margins and credit ratings, according to a report by global insurance rating agency AM Best. The new rules specify the types of policies to be adopted for Islamic contracts, such as in Wakala, where a firm operates under an agency agreement managing funds on behalf of policyholders in exchange for a management fee, which can also include a performance fee. The takaful is based on the concept of mutuality. The takaful company oversees a pool of funds contributed by all policyholders, but does not necessarily bear risk itself. In their investments, takaful firms must follow religious guidelines, including bans on interest and pure monetary speculation.